But getting to Codex, we're looking at a situation where...
Well, let me just reintroduce you for a second. I just want to reintroduce you in case somebody's logged in partway
Yeah, who
through.
is this madman?
Yeah, who is this madman? Croft, you have been in the natural health food store business for just about forever. Is that
well,
correct?
35 years.
35 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, I closed it down just about 5 years ago now.
Yeah, and you used to do a radio show on Co-op Radio.
Yeah, and before that I was on AM 1040, and before that CJOR for a while, the old CJOR, and yes, I kind of got around.
So as I remember, it was Croft Woodruff was the guy you listened to on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or whatever. And you're actually, are you a naturopath or are you just an honorary naturopath in Quebec?
Actually, I have an honorary PhD courtesy of the
Quebec.
Yes, the naturopaths of Quebec. They made me an honorary member about 5 years ago, and they have a degree granting right in the province of Quebec, and they gave me an honorary PhD, only in recognition of the work that I've done within the health food industry, with the bringing out all this information on health and nutrition against disease. And so I was quite pleased about that. I've also got a honorary Master Herbal charter from the Dominion Herbal College in recognition for several years where I participated in their summer practicums and gave a lecture on various subjects relative to health and nutrition and so on.
Well, there was a long time that you were absolutely Vancouver's expert. There was no doubt about that. So when I first met you, as I said, and I was actually in your store, it was on Main Street or Fraser Street?
Fraser Street.
It was on Fraser. When I first met you, and I went in to see you because I wanted you to do a program with me on the Rogers show, the Codex was going after every drug or every pseudo-drug or everything they called a drug, or what was it they were, and how successful have they been?
Well, they've got a lot of opposition in the United States as well as in different European countries. And basically, you have to realize that the World Health Organization, which is behind Codex, is basically, their biggest funding comes from the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't like the competition for vitamins because vitamins are cheap, they cannot be patented, and therefore you can't charge an awful lot for them without having a problem with competition. And of course, the late great psychiatrist and physician, Canada's greatest biochemist as far as I'm concerned, Abe Hoffer,
yep, I remember
said that it's, with vitamins and nutrients, you don't have to give too much too long to get positive results, unlike the drugs. He doesn't rule out the use of drugs, but they should be used as conservatively, as sparingly as possible until you can wean them into the nutrients to get them off of the particular problem that you're dealing with. And of course, coming from a family that were great orchardists and farmers, I could appreciate that. You feed the soil, and the soil will feed you, if you know what I mean.
Yep, I certainly do know what you mean.
And that's the bottom line. But the pharmaceutical companies, they don't like competition. And as I say, they can't patent vitamins, so they want to control it and monopolize it. And we have politicians that are bought and sold, just like stocks on the stock market, and they vote accordingly. And just like there's a couple of chiropractors in Ottawa who are in the Reform Party, and they big promises until Mr. Harper cracked the whip, and then we realized that we're being sold down the river. And these guys, chiropractors, who believe in natural health and healing, yet would go back on an industry that has always supported chiropractic and recommended the customers see a chiropractor, Mm-hmm. It's just amazing what happens with these politicians. And it's just like this Bill C-6 that we're looking at right now. There are 2 sections in it. I don't have it right before me, but when you read it, you'll understand that it legalizes extraordinary rendition on the part of foreign countries. And I challenged a local MP here in Coquitlam. He couldn't have read the bill to let that slip by him. And that's the bottom line. You know, we have a rogue state in the United States.
Croft, can you define the extraordinary rendition, please?
Well, that's when a foreign country kidnaps you and sends you off to one of their jails or a foreign jail to be tortured and get concessions out of you to suit their particular plan.
Good. I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm one of those who says that 9/11 was an inside job. So now you know where I'm coming from.
Conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, well, I'd like somebody to show me the photograph of the plane that hit the Pentagon, and of course I've seen all these pictures of Bin Laden, and I wonder how come he changes, you know, and the face changes, and of course they find a film of him in the most curious of places, in the remote part of Afghanistan, convenient. There's so much false flag business going on. And, of course, we know that this war that's going on in Afghanistan and what was going on in Iraq was all based on a big lie.
Well, the Afghanistan was the attack to go after Bin Laden. I believe that Iraq was very bad.
Yeah, well, they went after Iraq based on the big lie, and then they admitted that he didn't have weapons of mass destruction, and they had nothing to do with the Twin Towers. I know we're getting off of that, but it's all part of the same scheme. Our governments are bought and sold by these major corporations. They finance their campaign funds, and then when it comes time to call for payment in kind, we, the taxpayers, get sold down the river.
Well, it's big banks, big oil, big pharma.
That's it.
It's all these things.
Military, industrial, and also banking complex that Eisenhower warned about when he left office.
Croft, do you have any solution to it from a political point of view, or from from the point of view of regulation of you know, under the table dealings of
well, why regulate something that isn't causing any problem? And that's the case with regard to vitamins and minerals. But if you really want a solution, we have to change the paradigm. And that means we have to get to the children in the schools and change the educational system.
Another one who says we have to educate our kids. Thank you.
We have to educate our kids. Otherwise, we just raise them as a bunch of patsies that we've turned out to be.
Well, I don't know about you and me, but some of us are.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Okay, let me ask you about a few other things.
Right on.
I'm 67 years old now. I don't think I'm quite as old as you are, but I'm getting there, catching up. I'm older now. I'm older now than you were when I met you, type of thing, putting it that way. And I was getting up every hour and a half, every hour and 15 minutes to go pee during the night. And I took some of that Flomax stuff, but I got rid of that real quick because it made me impotent. So I went on the web and I found a thing called Mega Strength Beta Sitosterol.
Yes, yeah.
Do you have any comments on that? Because
yeah,
I will tell you.
There are products like that. They come from saw palmetto berry.
Yeah. And
they have a characteristic of helping to regulate the prostate and normalize it. And, of course, the other thing, of course, is vitamin D is important for the gland.
Well, I've been taking lots of vitamin D, too.
But this... that beta-sitosterol, it's actually, I think, a bioflavonoid complex. Also, you've got products like Proscare and anything that kind of extracts from saw palmetto berry. You can't go wrong if you're having a problem urinating.
Well, I found like 138 different references to it being good, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it.
No, well, in the years that we were carrying it in the store, we never had any complaint. We always had people only too glad to get their hands on it.
Now, you see, if it was me, I would have thought, okay, my sugar's out because I'm a type 2 diabetic, diet controlled. And if I'm up 3 or 4 times a night, it's because I've had too many sweets.
Yeah. By the way, vitamin D is important for diabetics, too.
Well, it's I won't say it's hurting me. It doesn't seem to... It hasn't changed my regimen much at all.
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean, I've been diet controlled and metformin controlled for the last 14 years, so I'm doing well.
That's great. Glad to hear it.
well,